Been there, done that, know what's next. Life's a journey, never complex. A lifelong student, educators call, guiding future, standing tall. Conscious parenting, full hat on tight. Drove through decades, walked away for rights. From the motion pictures to the cosmic light. Contact these journey, universal sight. Attempting to put the human back in humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence. Human experience, hang out, come along. Kids, health, synaptic circle, singing our song. Random vlogs, life stories to tell. Each journey a beacon, wishing well. We all have incredible tales to share. Healing, activation, spreading care. Light the way, find the others. What's your mission, sisters and brothers? Attempting to put the human back in humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence. Rise, humanity, unity we seek. Community sharing, synaptic circle unique. Be the solution, lift someone today. Assist in the rise, light the way. May the song lift whoever comes across, and may you do the same, no matter the cost. Spread the light, ignite the flame. In unity we rise, forever reclaim. Attempting to put the human back in humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence.
Hi, thank you so very much for tuning in. I'm your host, Heidi Pop, and I love having high vibe conversation with folks out there being the solution, walking the walk, talking the talk. And by the time this airs, I will be half a century old. And I love talking about health and wellness and well being for the entire family. If you are new to this channel, you can check out my previous shows. I am constantly championing the wellness and the the longevity that we all have the ability to have. I love regeneration, and I love talking about how we can take back our medical choices, take back our journey through health, bring it back into our own hands. So my guest today, I'm so very excited. You're all familiar with the Amie Chilson of Adventures with Amie. She's a dear friend of mine. Hi, Amie. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Heidi. It's so nice
Yay.
to be on your show again.
Woohoo! I lost count how many we've done. And then I can't wait to talk to Susanna Furlanic. Susanna, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited about this conversation.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yay, absolutely. These are my specialists regarding a super important system in our body. There's the hot topics of detox. We're always talking about how to cleanse our bodies because we're getting hit left and right with toxins. Our food, our water, the soil, the ground, the clothes, the air we breathe. I mean, it's everywhere. We are constantly trying to protect ourselves and detox from these toxins that we take in all the live long day. And that's everyone in your family, from toddlers up to the elderly. So we're going to be talking about the hero of the body, the lymphatic system, and tools that you can use to help detox and drain that system to be at your optimum best. Can't wait to hear about the device that we're going to talk about today. But more importantly, I'm one of those that is scrolling around on social media. And if I find something with evidence, something with pictures, I'm one of those that's scrutinizing. I'm like, that lighting's different or something's wrong here. I don't know about this. I'm thrilled to say that I get to finally share evidence and proof that actually looks the same lighting. It's undeniable proof that what you can get from this said device. And it doesn't take weeks, and it doesn't take months, and it doesn't take trips into an office. This can be done in minutes in your own home. And again, all ages. So I would stay tuned, because at the end of this, you're also going to be offered a free gift for all of our listeners. So, and am I right to say that, ladies? Is there something in the works here? Okay, nice.
Yes.
Well, I mean, how's that? I mean, without further ado, let's talk about this lymphatic drainage system. Let's talk about our lymph system. What is it? What are the uses? What is it here for? How can we help it? And what is something that we can do in the privacy of our own homes for a lot cheaper than going to the offices? Okay.
So earlier this year, my dear friend and business partner, Susanna Furlanic, gave me a call, and she was telling me about a launch of a new microcurrent device coming to the market in the United States. And we went a deep dive into the role of our lymphatic system. We called it the unsung hero, because most people they're just not totally aware of how important it is for our whole overall health. And she started educating me, and I was blown away. And I have become really passionate now about sharing and teaching others about the role of their lymphatic system for our whole holistic health, mind, body, spirit. And Susanna is a certified applied lymphologist for over 13 years now, she and her husband, Rich Furlanic. And she's also an expert in epigenetic science and an anti-aging and longevity advocate. So Susanna, we would love to hear from your expertise on Lymphology 101 and the importance it plays for everyone, from children all the way to elderly, because we all have a lymphatic system, and then we need to know how to take the best care of it, how to detox it.
Absolutely. And so thank you again, guys, for having me on, to have a platform to start really getting this information out. It's such an undereducated or under-discussed topic, yet it's so critical to our health, our lymphatic system, that without it, we're dead in 24 hours. So that's the critical role. And I think your audience is always looking for ways to detox, right? Using special herbs and maybe modalities and supplements and things like that. And our own body is constantly 24/7 trying to detox itself from all the environmental stressors, or what we eat, what we get bombarded by. And the lymphatic system, its role, think of it like the garbage disposal waste company that comes by once a week. Yet it's there every day, trying to pull all these toxins out of your body. And I can go into sharing sort of like a visual, if you want, to show you how intricate the lymphatic system is. So I'm going to share my screen.
Sure. Once that pops up here. I'm thrilled for this because, yeah, folks, I love that they focus on their foods a lot, but they're forgetting that these toxins come in from so many different sources.
Yes. Let's see. I'm going to do a share screen.
Okay.
Here. Okay, let me pull this up.
Yeah.
Here we go.
1020. Here it comes. And thank you for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate that.
Here we go. This is it.
Okay.
You guys see this?
Here it goes. Now it's coming. Yep. Here we go.
Okay. So all the green vessels is a network of our lymphatic system. And you see all these little nodes, right, through our body. And the purpose of these vessels is to collect all the fluid, that all the bombardment, this toxins, all these things that the body is trying to eliminate. And it's trying to pump it through the body into and out of your own disposal system, through your waste. Okay. And it's constantly trying to do that. Now, children, you guys were talking about children. My niece and nephew, when they were younger, had a trampoline in the backyard, and they were constantly jumping up and down, and they were helping their lymphatic system work. So I'm going to go into a little bit how it works. When it's like, if you think of your blood serum in your circulatory system, the blood is circulating through your body by way of your heart and your lungs. Your lungs, when you breathe, you're helping your body and your heart pump your blood through your body. However, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. The only way it can pump is through muscle contraction. So like rebounding is a big way to muscle contract and help that fluid out. So if you have children that are out in the backyard and they're jumping up and down and they having all this fun, it's a very holistic exercise for them, for their well-being, to keep them healthy and their immune system working properly. My niece and nephew weren't vaccinated, and they hardly ever got sick. Even during the school years, the fall when the kids start to get the sniffles, they rarely ever got sick. And we used to wonder, like, these kids are really healthy, but it was because also they were jumping all the time. Now, unfortunately, as we get older, we get more sedentary. We do go to the gym if we go, but for the most part, a lot of people are not helping their bodies, and this is innocently, not knowing that you're not helping this critical aspect of their body to do its job. And so what happens, I'm gonna just quickly share what happens when the lymphatic system is sluggish, if you will, if their lymphatic fluid's not being removed through the body. Matter of fact, fun fact, we have 3 to 4 times more lymphatic fluid than blood serum in our body.
Really? Wow.
Yes. It is right underneath, underneath the tissue of our skin, and it's everywhere. It's in our head to toe. It's in our knees. It's behind our heart. It's everywhere. Wow. So this critical aspect of our body is just trying so hard, if you allow it, if you let it, to do its job.
Wow, I'm thinking about all the school-age children and teens that are so sedentary now because all their work is done online, or you're watching generations slow down, and you're worried about the repercussions on the body.
So interestingly, when I was studying this, the symptoms of someone who has a sluggish lymphatic it's just a long list: headaches, puffiness, joint pain, sore throats, like the like swollen lymph nodes, the thymus, the tonsils. All those are collecting this bacteria. We're swelling, foggy brain, just muscle, just not feeling, your stiffness in the joints, symptoms that people think that, I need to go to the doctor, I need to take ibuprofen. Children who have ear infections, just by draining the lymphatic system, because it's right behind their ear, right or alongside their neck, can help drain that. So all these ailments that we think are from something else, it's literally because our lymphatic system is sluggish. Like women who are during their menstrual cycles get heavy, like puffy, that bloating feeling. There's just so many things that we suffer through because we're innocently not understanding what our body's trying to do.
Oh, yeah. And if that's like a backup of the toxins in the lymphs, correct? And if they're there too long, can it fester some more serious ailments?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have another graphic to show you.
Okay.
This is really an important one. Yeah. So let me see if I can bring it up here.
That was a really good question, Heidi. Yes, because when people, if they're not getting the toxins out, let's say that they are sedentary, or they maybe they're injured and they cannot go outside and exercise and get the muscles moving. So what happens to people that are in a prolonged or chronic state of lymphatic buildup, like the toxin buildup? What happens to them?
So here's a quick visual of the tissue, our skin, right? So going just to get a little bit sciencey to understand what causes diseases or source of diseases. So our cells in our tissues, they thrive under the proper conditions. And those conditions allow the cells to have oxygen, to transfer nutrients to each other, to just live and thrive. And so we call that a dry state. So this dry state is healthy tissue. When the lymphatic system begins to become sluggish, it's because it's in a wet state or a disease state. And this is where blood proteins start to accumulate in the tissue. And then if you can see how it's getting a little larger, that little puffiness, it's because the cells themselves are in a wet state. And when you're in a wet state, you're not able to oxygenate properly, you're not able to function properly. And when a cell cannot function, it starts to die off and starts to cause problems. There's a whole host of problems, and it's lack of oxygen, it's lack of sodium, potassium balance, all these things that happen. So you start to see problems, like I had mentioned earlier, those symptoms, because it's beginning to become a disease state. Now, the good news is that the lymphatic system is very simple to go from a wet state to a dry state. It's very simple to do that with skin stimulation, again, muscle contraction, like rebounding on the trampoline or a mini trampoline, or dry brushing, or moving it with your fingers, just simple to move it from that state to a dry state, from a wet state to a dry state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's making sense. It's totally making sense. And that's like what we were saying. I have it here. That little tool, that little Japanese tool people use on their face, which I rarely use because I'm too lazy. But they're basically moving the fluid down into the system.
The gua sha. Yeah, it's a gua sha massage. And women and men who are going through chemotherapy or that kind of therapy, they are assigned to go to a professional lymphatic massage therapist because they're so clogged up. Simple. And so they're going under the tissue and they're moving this fluid and helping the fluid to be disposed by the body. So having a regular maintenance, if somebody is, exercising every day, going out, walking, resistance training, because you're moving your muscles, that in itself is helping. Heavy, deep breathing helps to detox, so heavy, deep breathing, being hydrated is another way to help. Great hydration, supplementation. So another source of cause of sluggish lymphatic is nutrient deficiencies. So if the cells are not getting the proper nutrients to it because it's trying so hard to stay in a healthy state, that causes, plus not being able to be under those conditions where they need to be in a dry state, that causes a sluggish lymphatic system. So there's elements to be considered. So proper nutrition, exercise, or maybe using the device, which is why I love it for children and elderly, especially because they're more sedentary. So.
The lymph system also it protects with immunity response. So as we go into, winter here and 'tis the season of the holidays, everybody is looking towards, how can I take care of my body better?
Yeah.
But with winter, we do naturally slow down. We turn into that hibernation kind of state. And some people do live in parts of the world where it's not easy to go take a walk or it's not easy to go do something. Right. So it's nice to know there's options that we can still be working on this draining of our system using different modalities. So yeah, thank you for that. I'm thinking of all sorts of people that this could benefit. So
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, and there's also just the resources themselves. If you do go to specialists, that adds up. So you just go for multiple visits. It's, that deters people, I think. So you're saying you're offering another way of doing this at home, basically. Something.
Yeah, it's a could be even a medicine cabinet tool to have part of your, at home use to help yourself, to help your family, your kids. Everybody has a lymphatic system. Now, you made a good point. Going into winter, I mean, all the colds and all the immune system starts to get taxed. That's because it's being passed around, and your body goes into overdrive to try to detox. You're hitting your tonsils. It's going through your nose, your ears, all their throats. And people don't wash their hands. If the kids could wash their hands a little more, but it's going to get into your body. So if you're helping your body do its job, then you're in a good space. Even if you were to get a virus, it'll flush through really quickly.
Oh, yeah, I do like to hear that.
Yeah.
And just speaking of the holidays, I know there's a lot of guilt around the holidays for people being a little gluttonous. So with fat absorption too, we need a healthy lymphatic drainage system, correct? Like that helps with just sheer weight management and flushing out those fat molecules. Or have you seen anything about that?
It's so funny. It's interesting. And Amie can attest to this too. We get a lot of questions about, because the use of the device has a microcurrent aspect to it. And just Google or chat GPT, microcurrent therapy, its benefits. And that coupled with the massage, not with the use of the device to move fluid through the tissues. So you're going from a wet state to a dry state. So wet to dry. So people think, wow, this is fat blasting. I'm looking thinner. I'm depuffing. And they think they're losing weight. And it's not. It's just that the fluid that's accumulated in their tissue is just reducing and depuffing the skin. And so, yes, it does help with elimination. That's really the core essence of the lymphatic system, is to eliminate toxins, environmental things that you're not supposed to have in your body to maintain a healthy balance.
Okay.
I have a good story and testimonial as well to share. But before I, before I share that, Susanna, for our audience that are just now for the first time hearing about the microcurrent device, and they're saying like, okay, here's another way, another modality for me to detox my lymphatic system and enjoy overall health and well-being. What is this device? Do you mind showing it and sharing a little bit about the device and what it does?
Yes, absolutely. So this is why I called you, Amie, because I was so excited, because this allowed me to gave me a platform to talk about and educate about the lymphatic system, because what it was designed to do. So this is a next generation smart device. And so it's not a massager. It's a device that's going and stimulating the skin and aiding the body, through movement to flush that lymphatic system, that fluid through the body and help it do its job. And it's using the sensors are also sensing, because all our body parts may have different needs in terms of treatment. And so it's measuring the skin resistance, it's measuring how hydrated they are, the BMI, all these data in your body, and it's measuring 100 times a second. And based on when it's measuring, it's adjusting the current. And the current is what's helping to aid that body part. So there's, in addition to the skin stimulation for the detox, it's people always say, wow, I had a sore neck because they're sitting on their computer and they're getting tech neck, and they hold, especially women hold a lot of, tension in your neck. And there's also looking down at the screen. And so they hold it here. And so when they run it through their neck, it's also because of the microcurrent stimulation, it's warming up the muscle. So it's causing blood to circulate to the muscle, and it's relaxing the muscle. So all of a sudden they have this relaxation feeling. which also sends dopamine to the brain, which gives them a feeling of well-being. And so there's multiple things happening at the same time. Besides the detoxification, there's it's a pain relief, because again, when you take tissue that's inflamed and wet, and sometimes there's joint pain that comes along with it. There's, it's just, you just don't feel your best. You might feel a little stiff, and all of a sudden the tissue goes down to a dry state, and all of a sudden they feel, wow, it's like I feel more relaxed. I feel less pain, if not any pain. And every part of the body benefits, even the tummy area where you start to see a little more puffiness there in women and men, but that also helps there too.
When you said a smart device, or do you mean like EMF? It's using EMF, or is this a battery charged kind of thing?
No.
I was like, wait, oh no, a smart device.
No, it's smart in the sense it's sensing.
Oh, gotcha.
It's smart enough to know you need more here in your back. You need more in your
Nice.
tummy. You need less over here. So it's smart in that sense.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. Because that's a hit word for some who are like, no, I don't want a smart house or a smart TV or smartphone.
Yeah. One of the things I appreciated, because there's other devices out there and there's a learning curve to learn how to use it. And most mothers, I know I'm very busy. I don't have the time to learn something new if I don't have to. Just give me like one button to push, and
yes.
We just said, okay, we're going to press one button, and it's smart enough to do its job without having to learn how to modulate, the frequency or anything that it has to do to get proper treatment.
And that's per person, so it will just automatically adjust to the next person.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the things I loved when you started educating me, Susanna, about the lymphatic system and how crucial it was for overall health, I thought I knew a little bit about it. Like I knew there was lymph nodes in the neck, and I would start feeling really puffy here, and that would be my body telling me, the lymph saying, you need to, detox.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to get sick. However, after you educated me, I realized like the unsung hero of our health, this is the key to all of it. 10 years ago, the colon was the hot trend and topic. People were all of a sudden very excited about colon health and taking care of our third brain. And that really took off. And the lymphatic system, so many people haven't really talked about it. So now it's the lymphatic system is coming to the forefront. People are realizing, like I did after you educated me, whoa, this is so much more impactful than people know.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it the precursor to the colon? And I mean, that it kind of leads into your digestive.
Yeah. Even in the colon, there's something called, it's like a lymphatic, it's part of your lymphatic system that's integrated with your colon, that's trying to eliminate. It's all through your body. I mean, again, it's 3 to 4 times more fluid than your blood. So it's everywhere. Wow. And so it's like, it's really trying hard to keep you alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And getting sick and all those things, to keep your immune system well.
What would you say is the benefit to a device like this to folks that are resistant? They're like, oh, I take care of that myself. I do a little massage myself. Like ones that are not sedentary, ones that do have motion. How can it benefit them as well? Even though they're like, oh no, I have my own little routine I do. Because I don't know about some people, but some nights you don't want to do your routine. You want to go to bed or you want to sleep. Some things are not consistent. So I see someone, oh, you have an hour body massage you got to do. You really going to do that all the time, every week?
That's a
what
great
would you
question.
say to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's an app that's on the phone that's connected to the device if they choose to use the app. And the app offers a profiling, like, here are my goals, here are my needs, what would you like to accomplish? Why are you using this? And they answer this. And then based on their answers, it creates a routine for them that suits their time, their needs. Someone who's in the goes to the gym, it does do the muscle contraction. What they have found is that you need to warm your muscles up so you can have some optimal use of your weight training. And they found that they can actually perform more because of the muscles being warmed up. And then the post training, they use it all again for just a few minutes, and it helps with, the soreness that we get when we have weight training.
Muscle recovery. Yeah.
Muscle
Super
recovery. They'll use that. So we have a lot of
Nice.
athletes that are using it now. People who have a little bit of an issue falling asleep at night, they just, first of all, don't look at your phone if you're trying to go to sleep, because the blue light mimics daytime, and we want to increase the melatonin in your brain. So my daughter, actually, just quick tip, pro tip, my daughter took my phone and made it has a red filter on it. It's like red light. So automatically my brain wanted to start producing more melatonin, and I just fall asleep. But however, I know that's a quick tip, but this being used under the feet, people like to use it for 2 minutes under the feet, and it just relaxes them and helps them go to sleep, and they have a great night's sleep.
Oh my gosh. That's great, moms out there, because I know kid doesn't like rub my feet at bedtime. But you said a keyword that all my parents are probably picked up on as well, as you said, minutes. It just takes minutes as opposed to a full body hour massage. Who has an hour that much several times a week? But you're talking about minutes?
These are minutes.
Wow.
These are minutes, 2-3 minutes. It doesn't take a lot. The body is very resilient. It's just a beautiful machine. It's designed to keep us balanced and to survive. So everything is intricately working together. It doesn't take hard. I mean, it's not difficult. It's not more than you think you need. So just to stimulate the skin in minutes, you start to feel, the wellness benefits and unless you're using it for now. The other flip side of the coin, people are finding, oh wait, microcurrent and skin, what are the benefits there? And it only takes a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, to work on those specific areas if you're targeting that.
Yeah, I was gonna jump in here, and so you brought up something really good, Heidi, about how people who are healthy, they're eating right, they're exercising, they're doing all these things, even going to get the lymphatic massage. I'm one of those people, and I noticed that when I started using it, I dropped quite a bit of weight really quickly, about 25 pounds in a few months, and then also my body became smaller and tighter relatively quickly. It kind of surprised me, and I thought it was fat, and then Susanna educated me. It was all the toxins leaving my body. It was the fluid buildup in my lymphatic system. So it wasn't really fat. It's just my body was puffy. And so even as an athlete and someone who takes really good care of my health, I noticed too, I have the toxins to purge, to detox out. And so it doesn't even matter if someone's really active or eating really healthy. If you live in the United States, especially, you're being poisoned from every angle.
You can't deny it, or you can't shelter yourself completely from it. You have to be on the defense. It sounds like you have to constantly be flushing and detoxing. Yeah.
And that's why I liked having this device at home. So I could be sitting in front of the computer doing some work, one hand, just doing, a little treatment on my leg or my arm. So I'm multitasking at the same time. Someone's in front of the, the TV at night. It's just so easy to use. It feels good after. Then even someone like my mom, who's in her late 70s, she has trouble with her feet. She's not able to exercise. So she is one of those sedentary examples, but she also has a lymphatic system, wants to get healthy and detox. And so she started using it. And I know Susanna's got some really good visuals of people that have cellulite, because it works on cellulite. It's a symptom of a sluggish or blocked lymphatic system, varicose veins, edema. My mom has all of that and neuropathy. So she started using this right away on herself. And as people want, the relief and true treatment and wellness for their health, there's an extra benefit in Susanna has some great visuals to share, is that as they are detoxing, there will be some aesthetic results as well.
So it's like a win-win.
It's a big bonus.
Isn't this true too? Like, this is a hot topic, I know, with a lot of families, loved ones, but blood pressure keeps getting thrown around a lot. And there's a lot of people like, oh, just tell me what to take. And others are like, I don't want to keep taking prescription things or pharma. What is an alternative? And according to my research, it all falls back on the lymphatic system. So that's another, I guess we have to watch ourselves what we say here, but I'm, I'm for what I'm reading and hearing and seeing, it could help with that as well. Blood pressure, don't quote me.
Yeah, yeah. So the blood pressure, yeah, it's a big common thing too, because it's
Okay.
either, it's stemming from being a little more overweight. It's also dietary. It's also sedentary because you're overweight. The circulatory, especially with elderly that are not moving too much and they're sitting on a sitting state, they're cutting off their circulation at the hips. And what happens is that the extremities start to accumulate that fluid. And then you can see in people who have neuropathy. I had a gentleman in his 60s. He's still young, big guy. He's probably he was built tall and built like a 6'4", built like a football player. And he came in one day and he was dragging his leg. So what's wrong with your leg? He says, well, I have a bad knee. My doctor says I need to have a knee replacement. And I said, and I looked at his leg and I said, he was just, one leg was totally bigger, like tree trunk versus the other leg. I said, you have a circulatory issue. Would you mind if I try something on you and see if it gives any relief? So he said, absolutely, anything. Sits down. I start using a device. So, it was so puffy, the edema, that you press and it's the pit stayed in a pitted state. There was so much fluid. In 15 minutes, all it took to move and drain the fluid out from the extremities so that the body could eliminate it. And he stood up. I said, stand up and see how it feels. And he stood up, started walking. I wish I had a video, but he started walking, turns around and looks at me. His eyes are big. And he's like, I haven't felt my leg this light in months.
Wow.
In months.
Wow. Jeez. Imagine if we all had our hands on one and we'd go visit our elders in like homes and stuff.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
the relief we can give. Yeah.
Totally. Their legs, especially their legs, because they're not exercising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have any pictures, any visuals you can show us, Susanna? Because I think it helps for people to see, especially when it comes to edema, because edema is something not just elderly will experience or sedentary. Me as a world traveler and adventurer, I will get edema when I'm sitting on a plane, on a train, on a bus for a long time. And I have my legs hanging down. They're just there for, 10, 12, even sometimes as long as 20 hours on a long flight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So then now I'm filling up with fluid.
Oh boy. See, this is why I like your pictures. The same light.
Yes.
Look at
so
that.
Very common. Yeah. So it's very common, lower extremity. And somebody who also has an injury, who had an operation, we've seen people post injury, post operation, and they will have swelling because that's the body's way to try to protect tissue and it throws stem cells because their body's trying to regenerate tissue and trying to help tissue. At the same time, do you ever have like swelling and it's discomfort, it's painful and it's hard to the touch? So within minutes, the body, when you aid the body in removing the fluid, people go, wow, I feel less pain. Because the cause of the discomfort is from the actual edema itself. Yeah. So they not only have, like this, I had another one, if it comes up, but we have women who, again, this is, so that cottage cheese, the cellulite is sluggish lymphatic. Also, there's other aspects like tight fascia which is this has helped as well. But when you're moving the fluid and you're helping the tissue to go from a wet to dry state, you're going to start seeing a smoothing out, especially when you're using microcurrent. Current therapy, people go to med spa to have this flushed out of their system.
Yeah.
So I was just
And it's expensive.
I was talking to a gal who ran her own med spa, very successful, she was on a Kathy Ireland. I mean, she had a talk show. They put her on the show, and I talked to her, and she says we charge $2,400 to cover this area size of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and that's per leg, and then per area, and then you multiply that by the many treatments you have to do, and then your maintenance treatment to keep it to protect your original investment. Yeah.
Wow.
That's expensive.
Yeah, that's expensive. And that's what makes people not try. There's
That
a huge population won't try. Yeah. And the time of going to a place.
To drive through traffic, make the appointment, sit in the office, go through all of that. Even if someone has like money to throw at it, time is so valuable and precious, and we're all getting more busy. It feels like time's speeding up. So being able to, avoid, investing all the time, that to me was a big one right there. Like, oh, busy moms, busy parents, just busy, entrepreneurs. What can we do to, mitigate I don't want to say the wasting of time, but the time investment to have to go out and do all of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Women who are in their 60s, they're losing elasticity of fibers in their skin. And they ask, well, how does that help for skin? And so microcurrent and skin tissue, when you're stimulating skin tissue in the cells, there's a little pump in the cell we call it magnesium potassium pump, or we call it also ATP, because what it does, it helps the cells stay in balance from going from a dry to a wet state. Okay, so what in that tissue, when you take electrical, because we're electrical bodies, okay, so there's electrical coming off of our body. If you take electrical current and you put it on the tissue, you're stimulating, I like to call powering up your cells, and you're helping the cell improve collagen, improve elasticity, you go to Google and just type in microcurrent benefits and you'll see just a list of things as it benefits the skin in terms of tissue contouring, eliminating like this area. She says they're concerned of this loss of elasticity, and it actually does improve it. There's another problem with
the wings.
Wings. This is lymphatic stagnation.
Whoa.
When you have your wings, it's not for the matter of, because there are some people that go and they work out, but they still have the wings. Lymphatic fluid buildup.
Wow.
Believe it or not. And just by removing, especially under the pit. So if there's a puffy pit, that is lymphatic fluid buildup, because most likely we are using, perspirants or antiperspirants that contain chemicals, and the body's trying to eliminate it.
That and the bra, women wear a lot of tight underwire bras, and they're constricting this natural flow in the upper thoracic. So we see a lot of women just beyond the puffy, stagnant or blocked lymph, that we see more lymphedema these days. We see lymphoma. I mean, the symptoms and the really negative outcomes for people that don't detox lymphatic system, and this area is highly concentrated right here of nodes. Lymphedema and lymphoma have gone up dramatically in the last decade.
These are crazy though. Like that's I mean, even my kids jiggle mine. It's become you never know there's a solution. I didn't even know if it would be related to lymph. So this is an eye opener for me.
Yeah, there's a young lady here. She's young. She works out, obviously. So you would think, and this is a belly shot, you know, she works out, but look, there's still fluid in the tissue. So she's just eliminating and massaging, stimulating the lymphatic from her tissue. And you could see just from, you know, some uses out of it. And I've seen professional lymphatic massages where they show before and after in one treatment. It's a little more discomforting because they really massage the tissue and they're really getting into, you know, they're doing a lot of, and it's about $150 to $200 an hour for the massage. But they stand up and you can see their belly has formed again and they're seeing, you know, just from lymphatic massage. Now, someone does not have to spend that kind of money, and at will, at home, at their own privacy, they can do the same thing. And matter of fact, the gal that was talking about earlier who owned the med spa, she had her hands on this device for a month and she was floored. I have a testimonial of her saying, we have seen the same results from this device as compared to what we charge our clients for what they pay for.
And then there's another aspect that we haven't talked as much about, but both you and Susanna and I have experienced this, Heidi, and that has to do with the inflammation and pain going on in the body.
Yeah.
Now, we did talk a little bit about tech neck. Susanna's got a good story. When she first used the device on herself, she told me about this, which inspired my own story, which is I've been in a lot of car accidents, so I've gotten, you know, rear-ended quite a bit, and I know a lot of people have. So that you got the whiplash going on. In addition to that, I also was attacked by a dog, and so I have my vagus nerve. I have some nerve damage done in my neck, and anytime that it would get a little bit pinched or inflamed, which is easy to do, all I have to do is put on a backpack and go somewhere, and that weight, or hunching over, or doing a really good, you know, upper body workout, it would pinch this nerve, and I would have a migraine that could put me out for the whole day.
Oh,
And
geez.
so I know a lot of people will get migraines or headaches from the tension that we have back here. So many people have this tension going on. It's really hard and even puffy back here for some people. Susanna, what was your experience when you first applied it right in this neck and shoulder back area?
When I got this, I was having this woman's neck. You could see I had a similar situation because I'm on the computer quite a bit too. And it's just it was so hard, like a knot right here. And that's the first thing I used. It was on my shoulder. I used it for 2-3 minutes, I would say. And then I felt my body just relax. I just felt the muscle, just like somebody's massaging your muscle, but not with like massage kneading. It's just that with the microcurrent and the circulatory stimulation to bring that blood flow to the muscle, it automatically kind of relaxed. And I just remember feeling like I was doing this, and I walked out to my husband and I said, "Can you see anything? Can you notice a difference? Can you see which side I used it on?" He's like, "Well, you used it on this because you're tipped off, like you're tipping, like your shoulder's tight here, but this one's really relaxed." And so, you know, he did the other shoulder for me. And I just felt like this,
Wow.
this relaxation, like, like when you have that nice kneading. And I felt, and this is very similar to what other people say, when you work on their shoulders, they feel like this energy going down to their, to the tip of their fingers. It's like this energy flow.
The whole system.
Yeah. They just feel like, you know, so relaxed, so relaxed.
Do you feel the zap? Is it like a zap, or does it feel like? Can you feel something through the device?
Yeah,
I'm already like, it's getting ready to zap me.
So fortunately, they do have what they call comfort control, and it helps to keep that comfortable feeling while it's adjusting the treatment, because sometimes you'll need more of an electrical current output, and the comfort control will set in, so it's comfortable, so you won't feel that little zap.
Gotcha.
Yeah, some people are a little more sensitive. They might feel a little something, but for the most part, it's really comfortable.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just this warm feeling that you feel really good. I know it's doing something with our physiology too. You'd mentioned, Susanna, like serotonin, that people actually feel, they just feel an overall sense of like well-being afterwards. You feel more calm, more relaxed. I use this on my nephews. I have young nephews, four, well, a niece and nephews, and I would do this on their back and shoulders to help them sleep at night, and on the bottom of their feet. And they love it. They're like, Auntie Amie, do me. And I taught them how to use it. So they could use it on my brother because he has the back and neck issues. Like I have pictures of my brother before and after, and he was like Susanna, lopsided. In 10 minutes, one side was up and one side was down. So I think about this and the implications of helping people that are taking a lot of pain meds or sleep meds. Obviously, we're not doctors here. However, just from our own experiences with our family and ourselves, being able to relieve pain naturally, so we keep coming back to the natural remedies, the natural
Yeah.
solutions. That's what I'm about. I don't take any prescription or over the counter. I am all about the whole holistic journey, and I know Susanna is too.
Yeah. And I the same. I the same. I think that's a big, especially in the mom communities, and I'm an educator in the classroom. I like to share with children that we can empower ourselves and let assist our body in its own natural healing process. I love the science behind it too that you've been sharing. The dry to the wet, and you were talking about even all the things we can do on our own to drain our system, the rebounding, the dry brushing, the massage. This is another modality. And I do find it beneficial to the general public because of the how fast we're getting hit by everything. It's
Yes.
hard to keep up. And then, like Amie, you said, how it's so precious. We do find ourselves in situations of multiple jobs, or caring for the home as well as working. Your time is very limited for self-care,
Yes.
and usually resources too. Financially, you're pretty limited, so you want to get the most you can, the most bang for your buck.
Yes. Even so, Susanna, if you don't mind sharing, she can, as a certified applied lymphologist, give your audience right now, Heidi, a quick tip in just like a matter of a couple minutes that they could do at home right now, today,
Sure.
as they're watching this, for themselves and their children. That's going to help detox the lymphatic system right now and bring overall well-being.
That would be beautiful. Yes, that would be beautiful if you're
Yeah.
able. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, two big tips, and they're very easy and they're very inexpensive. Heavy, deep breathing is one way to take some really deep breaths through the lungs, and do it slow and just take their time. And also it helps to regulate your nervous system too, because sometimes when people feel tense, they're usually under stress or something going on. So deep breathing, I like the 4 count, the 4 in, holding for 4, and then just slowly exhaling for 4. And doing that in a cycle of 4 times. Just doing that, it just helps to just oxygenate the body. And because in your lungs, that behind your lungs, there's so much lymphatic nodes and things like that behind the lungs in your thoracic, and it's everything, your network that I was showing earlier, it's being pumped up towards the heart, and it's going into your thoracic. When you breathe and take those breaths, it's helping to pump it back out through your waste disposal system. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Again, the other way to do it is muscle contraction. So you could do walking, you get the kids out, go out for a walk if you can, if it's night, but if it's on a rainy day or you live in Alaska or you can't go outside, you could do dry brushing, just do stimulation with your hands, or take a dry brush. And here's the tip: when you're doing dry brushing, the movement's always towards the heart, not the other way back. There's in the vessel itself, there's little flap doors, that makes sure that the lymphatic fluid is only going in one direction, towards where it needs to go. So going towards the heart, if you're using your extremities, you're going to massage towards the heart. By the way, that just reminded me when I was talking about my friend who had the edema. In surgeries, doctors and nurses that are performing a surgery, if there is edema in the extremity, they will massage the fluid out while the patient's there, and they're moving that fluid out because they want to take it out of the body before they start performing surgery. So it's so important to have this fluid out. So that is one suggestion. So just towards the heart, just simple things you can do, and then just make sure you're hydrating. Wow.
That's a big one. So many people don't realize how dehydrated they are, which again is from the environment and the toxins we have. Oh yeah.
Yeah, hydrate with good
Very
water,
nice.
and often, especially during the holidays too, as people are eating saltier foods, usually sugary foods, and usually consuming more calories and a lot more fatty foods. So I think it's especially key going into the winter and the holidays for people to hydrate, to rebound, to exercise, to move the lymph. And then especially if they want to take it up a notch and use this special device at home with, themselves, or maybe their elderly parents, grandparents, or even children. It's safe for everyone. And that's also great at home. People can use this on their kids. We have a great story with one of our friends. Her toddler was 2 or 3 years old and fell and hurt her arm, and she wouldn't stop crying. So our friend, the mother, took her daughter to the doctor, and the doctor checked her out. There's no broken bones. I can't tell you what to do. She just won't stop crying. So the mom had just gotten the new microcurrent device and did a short treatment on her daughter's arm, and immediately her daughter stopped crying and felt great. So that was another great testimonial of how this works on everyone. Everyone has a lymphatic system.
Yeah. I keep thinking too of the holidays and just being a gluttonous, as you can tell. It's happened to me before, and being swollen and uncomfortable, and then the guilt and the shame come in, and you're like, oh, I gained so much. It's retention. You're uncomfortable from the stuck fluid, and give yourself a good drain, and you'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Especially with
myself.
sugar.
Moving on.
Sugar it attacks the joints. It causes inflammation of the joints. And so, having this, I know it does it with, I know I like good apple pie and a pumpkin pie, during the holidays. But you feel like a little achy afterwards. My husband is very sensitive to sugar. He feels it right away. And so, I said, let's do a little bit of let's pull it out. Let's help the body take it out. And so we're on our joints, on our knees, behind our knees. That's one of the things we like to help people is, like, especially behind the knees. There's a lot of lymph nodes behind your knee, by the way. So with children, if you sense that they're having a mucusy, because of sugar too, and the virus, but sugar and dairy, there's lymphatic here. They can drain and then drain. Here's another tip for parents. There's a drainage point here, so they can help the child drain. And there's also behind the ear, because they have this ear infection sometimes, there's a drainage point right in this long stem of your neck. There's if you turn your neck, there's like a nice muscle right here. There's a string of lymph nodes there. So just by massaging 20 times, 30 times of your child, that actually will help them give some relief.
These are amazing tips. I love this. Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Yeah,
and Amie, can I share? You have your website here with a detox.
Yes, please
emblem.
do. So
yes.
Thank you, Heidi. So adventureswithamie.com, there's all kinds of adventures. You and I have done, I think, at least 6 or 7 podcasts together, sharing some of these worldly adventures in food, culture, inspiration, and also adventures in wellness, how to take care of yourself, mind, body, spirit. And of course, we're all fans of natural here. So thank you for sharing that. And if someone is interested in learning more about detoxing their lymphatic system, they can go to adventureswithamie.com/detox. And here, okay, so here someone really, really wants to educate themselves. This is great. Susanna and I have done, I think, 9 different long recordings where she has gone into deep detail about the lymphatic system, about epigenetic science, even nutrigenomics. And it's so fascinating. So I have all of those here compiled for someone who really wants to learn more and empower themselves about their health.
Beautiful. And that was at adventureswithamie.com/detox.
Yes.
And on your site. Okay, beautiful. Yay. Well, I'm just like over the moon because I mean, it's not just timely because of the holidays. It's timely because of the situation our planet is in, which is in constant detox mode. As the planet is shifting and mutating itself, we are too. So we have to keep ourselves in optimum performance, peak performance. And I love knowing I'm so about empowering ourselves and taking our health back into our own hands.
Yes.
So this sounds not so scary anymore. Something even I can do.
Yeah.
I'm excited with that. Thank you. Is there another way that folks can reach you? How can they get their hands on this product too?
Well, thank you, Heidi. Yes, so for those that we have mentioned in the very beginning, we have a gift for your audience. So if anyone would like to get their gift, we have a really beautiful and well done, very well done, eloquently done report. And it's 7 natural ways to detox your lymphatic system. So we go into details and a lot more information on that. So we've got a whole report that anyone can get their hands on as a gift here. And I've got a website link for that. And then if someone is interested in learning more about the microcurrent device, and now this is available in 50 markets, Heidi. So it's not just the United States. We're able to empower people with their health, their well-being, and then detoxing the lymphatic system in 50 different countries. So if your audience is listening maybe from, let's say, Canada or Australia, maybe somewhere in Europe, they have access to learning more about this and getting this for their household as well, for the family. So if you put that website link up, this will give more information. Yeah, the bit.ly, there you go. Detox information at bit.ly. So it's a bit.ly and then /detox information. So there'll be information and before and afters and how to get it in each market and whatever questions someone has about it, as well as the gift of the 7 ways to naturally detox your lymphatic system. That's all there for anyone who would like to learn more. And it's our honor and pleasure to provide that information. As you can tell, Heidi, that Susanna and I are so passionate about educating people about their natural health and what options are available.
I love that. I'm so grateful to that. Thank you so much. And Susanna, just real quick, this is your background. I mean, this is, you've studied this. This is not just you saying, this is a good idea, I'm going to put my name on this. This is your studies and your education, and you've learned the ins and outs and ups and downs of the subject. So I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. What made you go into that in the first place? Was there something that made you really want to study specifically the lymphatic system?
I think my rebel nature of going against the mass, direction of when it comes to disease and pain, and just taking a band-aid and a pill, just to band-aid a problem. I've always been interested in how to holistically help our body. Our body is a beautiful just an instrument that is capable of doing so much for ourselves when we allow it to, under the proper conditions. It can heal itself. It has all the mechanisms possible. And I've always looked for ways and knowledge, to understand how can we help ourselves without having to try under the conditions of somebody else. I mean, the allopathic medicine world has its role. Maybe you break a bone and you go and you need its aid. But I've always wanted to be independent and sovereign in that mindset to how can we be free and help ourselves, empower ourselves, And so what I came across this information of lymphatic role of information, and I followed it to the source of a gentleman by the name of Dr. Stephen West, and he was up for Nobel Prize because he studied this, and I went and I learned everything. There was a certification and everything. I just dove into it, and I learned so much about our body that was never being discussed.
Mhm.
Never. I even had an interactive discussion with some friends who are personal, chiropractors and alternative, and they're like, we didn't in chiropractic school. We have one page about lymphatic, one page. It's
Oh no.
and and through the years, I have tried to, open the subject to about it and talk to people about it, and it's just like the gut health, like 10, 12 years ago, it was kind of like going over people's heads, or not. It wasn't sticking where there was an interest there. When this came to my attention, and I had something tangible to help people experience, that was my opportunity to start talking about it in a way that caught people's attention. And that's why I'm so passionate. It's like, come on, guys. If you're suffering from these symptoms, it's because of this, and we can aid ourselves in helping to alleviate those symptoms without having to take a prescription. So.
Yeah. I'm so grateful to that. Thank you. And with being half century, I always tell, you're as old as you feel, but that feeling is depicted upon your choices. You are creating how old you are in this meat suit, and you have the ability to maintain and manage that, how you feel. So I'm just saying, if there's another way to take the control back in your own hands, why not do it? Why not beat Father Time?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. So I'm going to share this link again. And those viewers, thank you so much for being with us. Please make note of this. So a free gift, you get to watch a show and a free gift. Thank you, guys. That's that's very nice of you. And all the information you do need is on there. I feel like I don't want to wind down. I want to talk more about it, but I kind of want to keep them wanting more. But in closing remarks, is there anything you feel like we didn't cover that you really just want to hit home with? Something that you really want to make sure the viewers walk away with
Well,
today?
before Susanna shares one, I would like to say, Heidi, you really teed it up nicely. There is a whole second part to this, or third part to this, that maybe we should intend for a part 2 follow up on a podcast, and that is, Susanna is such a great, she's so great at educating people about epigenetic science and how to, yes, it is possible to reverse our biological age in very practical ways. And it's such a powerful topic. People will leave the podcast feeling very scientifically empowered for themselves.
Oh, which I think we need. I think right now we are at that precipice in time where the line in the sand has been drawn within medical communities. People want the power back. And so many are watching loved ones suffer needlessly. And if we can just alleviate this dramatic, chains that bind us with this. I mean, I got to be careful what I say, but I'm very passionate about the fact, I've watched some loved ones that I know that just they it's like they become powerless when it comes to something wrong with their body. And it's like, it's your body. You are in control of this. Take care of the choices that led you to this condition, and, take care of the condition with the assistance of, the specialists, but but you can take things back in your own hands. Yeah, you're right. If it deserves a show 2 and 3, I'm down.
Yeah, well, I want to go back to, well, congratulations, you're hitting that midpoint, like you said, and I met that last year, so I'm right. I totally get where you're coming from, and I am very, passionate about epigenetic science, which means we are our fate of our DNA it's not our fate. And like she said earlier, we will chronologically age. That's just what happens to time. But how we biologically age, good news is that that's a choice that we can make. And I'm passionate about empowering people about the choices they can make to really literally slow down the aging process, if not maybe reverse it a bit. And if you think about it, when we were kids, if someone of our age looked completely different back then, 30 years ago,
Oh
40
yeah.
years ago, as a person in their 50s now, they're completely different. So, so that's like, I want to feel as good and the quality of life through the 70s and 80s. And then just one day, lights out. But the quality of life is the mission.
Yeah, the quality of life. And I want to know that I did everything I possibly could to, to take care of things myself.
Yes.
And empowerment just with this knowledge alone from today, I think is a huge step for anybody. So,
Right.
and for those parents out there, let's teach our children that they can heal. Let's teach our children that there's nothing to be fearful of when your body is showing you signs that something's a little off, that you can take care of it. So I'm all about that part. Aging gracefully and beautifully. And
Absolutely.
healing always. Healing always. Wonderful. Well, thank you so very much, ladies. I'm just thrilled to pieces. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this with me and walk through this with me. And I do hope, I'm sure that the viewers are taking something incredible from this. Again, if you want to check out that series with Amie and Susanna, adventureswithamy.com/detox, you'll find that playlist, correct?
Yes.
And then don't forget about your gift. Your gift and all the information you could possibly need is right here on this link here. So, such an honor to be connected to you, Susanna. Thank you, Amie, for that connection. I know we've talked before off channel, but this is a real treat, and I hope you would join me again. I mean, it's not just turning 50. I just feel it's the changing of the seasons and the way the planet is shifting. Health
Yeah.
and wellness and our well-being is at the forefront of my conversation and my topics and my podcast. So I'm sure I'd love to invite you all back again soon. Let's do this again.
Thank you, Heidi. We love your podcast. You are such a bright light. And thank you for all that you do, your dedication to uplifting humanity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And thank you, Susanna. Hopefully I'll run into you, Susanna. We're on the same coast. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
find time to meet up. And I'll
That would
buy
be
you a
great.
tea.
I would
I'll
love
buy a
that.
bucha.
Yeah. I would love that.
Awesome. Well, stay right there and we'll talk in a moment. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And I look forward to hearing your thoughts on the show. Talk to you soon. Be your best self.